Hello, I'm Belakova, and with my co-author Wendy Mackay, we're going to present you a research based on my master thesis in INRIA Research Lab in Paris. So we were interested in a creativity support tool to inspire writers while explicitly avoiding interference with their creative flow. There is evidence that showing that different environmental stimuli, for example, material, light, and smell, can either foster or diminish creative thinking. For example, writers become more alert with the smell of coffee and are more creative in a dim light. This is why we were interested in creativity support tools beyond the desktop to take advantage of users' other senses. Tangible and embodied interaction offer a captivating approach with a more natural way of responding to the user's actions and blending into the writer's existing routines. So we asked two key research questions and did three qualitative studies to explore them. First question is, how do professional creative writers actually write, including their daily routines, environment, and sources of inspiration? What are their self-motivation techniques and strategies for maintaining focus? Second, how can tangible artifacts fit naturally into the author's existing writing process, supporting creativity without interrupting it? The semi-structured story interviews with 8 creative writers explored the first research question. We identified key barriers to creativity as well as successful strategies for dealing with them. Key findings include the participants' tendency to engage in over-criticizing their own work and their difficulty in maintaining focus, especially in light of external distractions and discouraging feedback. Participants also described their successful mitigation strategies, especially creative voicing, in which they read their own text out loud. Participants also noted the benefits of co-writing and listening to others read their work out loud, as well as seeking positive or useful feedback. Finally, all participants establish regular writing routines and seek inspiration from external sources, such as books or through physical activity and the change of environment. Based on these findings, we iteratively designed and developed SonAmi, a simple interactive device that lets writers hear their texts voiced out loud. Since many writers are perfectionists who doubt themselves and engage in over-criticizing, we decided to prioritize the audio channel and avoid visual interaction with the text. This avoids overcharging the primary visual channel and limits distraction while writers are immersed in their creative flow. Since obtaining positive feedback can be challenging, we wanted to mimic the role of a helpful friend who offers an external perspective without creating a negative feedback loop. We also focused on the most boring and monotonous task, which is editing, a major source of procrastination. So then we ran a structured observation study to compare the effectiveness of listening to the author's own voice versus a computer-generated voice. We found that listening to the computer voice better supported editing by offering a level of objectivity. Also, many participants felt uncomfortable recording their own voices. We therefore choose to embed a computer-generated voice into a tangible artifact. So previously in our interview study, it showed that a majority, which is 5 out of 8 participants, drink tea or coffee when writing. Therefore, we link our tool to the act of taking a sip of coffee. So we designed SonAmi as an interactive coaster that plays a computer-generated voice whenever the writer lifts their mug. The technology probe, which we ran later, it examined how 2 creative writers use SonAmi as part of their daily writing routine. Both found that SonAmi encouraged self-reflection and gave them a new perspective on their text. They also noted that it helps them shift focus and concentrate on editing, but only at times when they were not already engaged in writing intensively. So, to summarize, we believe that this natural form of interaction of SonAmi omits the need for conscious interaction, but is also available if the user decides to explicitly trigger SonAmi to hear their text. In the future, we argue that creativity support tools should go beyond the desktop to include interactive physical objects that can fit seamlessly into everyday activities. Thank you.